What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Hitman Contracts. We're now moving on to Deadly Cargo, the combo remake of the two Rotterdam levels of Codename 47, Gunrunner's Paradise and Plutonium Runs Loose, respectively. Forgetting all zeros, I'm technically not doing anything new. My original main strategy was this long roundabout strategy where we put the tracker on the car, sneak on board the ship to disarm the bomb, and then sneak onto the warehouse roof during the SWAT team assault to snipe the target. I liked that strategy, but since we had to fire the sniper rifle, it's obviously void for Silent Assassin. No, not Silent Assassin. All zeros. So I'm going to be using one of the two alternate strategies for all zeros, specifically the one where we sneak on board the ship and silently kill the target inside of his quarters. That's the safer one because we can escape right before or right when the SWAT team attack starts. So you'll want to sneak into the little mini police station at the harbor entrance, get the crawl past that cop like I did, and then get the cop uniform. And then when you get this construction worker uniform, make sure no cops can see you because they'll kick you out. Drop your silver ballers because we're going to get frisked before we enter the pier. And the reason I'm doing this safe strategy is because as much as I love the joining the SWAT team and then escaping on the helicopter by holding the detonator to have immunity from the SWAT team, that strategy has a very high risk of a body found because a big problem with this level is during the SWAT raid, if a SWAT officer gets killed, which is pretty much completely out of your control, the body will get found, and it will count against you, even though you had nothing to do with it. I understand Byarkov bombs, since we are technically responsible for blowing up the submarine, but this makes no sense. But thankfully, this strategy should completely avoid that. On rare occasions, if you get unlucky, you could have a body found right as you exit, but it's pretty rare. Just do exactly what I do and you should be fine. So, I'm getting too carried away. After you enter the pier, you want to go into that first warehouse to the left and then get one of the crew member uniforms so that we can get on board the ship. You're going to have to very carefully walk past the guy that's standing on the boarding bridge. And then be careful walking around these other guys, because they're rather sensitive. Now, on this deck, be really careful of the guy patrolling in a circle. What we need to do is cross over to the other side, go this way, because this is the direction he goes. We don't want to run into him going the other way. This is the target's quarters. Just pull out your fiber wire and wait for him to show up. So yeah, that's just how the SWAT raid works. If you're unfortunate enough to have a SWAT officer die, the body found will count against you. Now, that doesn't happen. Thankfully, that doesn't happen with the crew members because they're scripted to die, and I'm assuming that's the reason why they don't count as bodies found. But it still sucks, though. So in theory, the other alternate strategy where we join the SWAT team and then hold the detonator to escape on the helicopter, you can technically get all zeros doing it that way, but that body found risk can make it hard. And then, like I said, my old roundabout strategy of disarming the bomb and sniping the target is obviously not going to work since we have to fire off a single gunshot. And then there's still that whole body found risk. So for all zeros, this is the safe option. So as soon as Boris, our target, gets inside his quarters, we can fiber wire him, and then we just have to backtrack to get out of here. We want to try to backtrack as quickly as we can. That way, like I said, that way we can get out either right before or at the very least right as the SWAT raid begins, to minimize that body found risk. Alright, so once he kneels at his desk, you're good to strangle him, like so. And now we just gotta very carefully slip out. Again, being very mindful of the guy guarding this deck, because this is a very narrow passageway. So we'll backtrack, we'll get out of the pier, and we need to go back to that tool shed where we got the worker uniform from. But to get off the ship, there's a little makeshift bridge made out of pallets right there, so that we can get off the ship in a much safer way, because that guy guarding the normal ship entrance is going to be even harder to get past now. These guys, you can run past them, just go right between them, leaving enough space between them both. And then we're going to want to go to the other side of these shipping containers, because in the crew member uniform, I'm pretty sure if you go near the harbor entrance and the cops see you, they'll shoot you. But I'm guessing that makes sense, because the SWAT team is about to attack them, and their rules of engagement are crew expendable. But once that cop passes that street lamp, very carefully work your way to the shed, close the door to guarantee that he doesn't see you, and then put the cop uniform back on so we can safely just walk out the harbor entrance, no problem. And then our exit will be all the way back where we started. And for this particular run that I recorded, the SWAT raid begins within 10-15 seconds before exiting. But thankfully, no SWAT officer seemed to have been killed, so no body was found. So no worries there, because there's nothing more unsatisfying than doing this strategy, determined to get all zeros just to have a body found at the last second. But thankfully, that didn't happen. There we go. I'll see you next time.